ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel, guys. So if you haven't seen the previous video, top right hand corner now, please go have a watch. We ended up doing a full service to carbon minus the brake fluid and antifreeze change because you need a tool for that, which I don't have, but luckily my friend does, so we'll be doing it at his garage at a later date. But we did do our first performance modification, which was cutting out that rear res and also putting on some exhaust tips. So it looks the part and sounds the part as well. So as above, we are going to be doing a dash cam installation. Now the reason for this, safety and security obviously, but also ever since I've had Carbon and I've been driving her around, I've had constant people up my arse. I've also had cars come at me. I have no idea why it keeps happening. I don't know if they're trying to push me along, obviously from the rear, push me along or race or something, but it is really getting frustrating. So the best thing I thought, get a dash cam for my safety and security. I never had this with the i30N. I had a dash cam in that. I had a dash cam in my Volvo. Never even happened in that because you would never take on a Volvo because you'll come off 10 times worse. But yeah, it'll be interesting to hear from you guys if you have this experience as well. I don't understand why, but it is really starting to get frustrating. So this is the dash cam I've got. I've not heard of it before. I got it on Amazon. It was only about 60 quid. This is the one in question. Now I went for this one because it had good reviews. So yeah, it comes with a micro SD. It has 4K Ultra and it will go in a loop as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's the camera itself. We've got the rear camera here, which is a little box, which you do have a mounting bracket, so you can screw it into like plastic and stuff. I'm not going to do that, but it does come with a double-sided sticky tape as well, and that is what we would do. The installation, it wants you to use a cigarette lighter adapter. Now, I don't like these. I had them before. They look unsightly, and you can't use your 12-volt socket for something else. So what I'm going to do is we are going to hardwire it into the fuse box. So I've got this kit here that it has come with. And like I say, this wasn't expensive either. I think this was probably about 7 quid as well. So yeah, let's crack on with the installation. Right, so the first thing I want to do is I am going to remove this trim because I'm going to do the wiring for the rear the rear camera first. So it's going to be stuck to this because it's going to be pointing out of the rear window. So it looks quite simple. Obviously get your trusty trim pullers, don't use screwdrivers. And let's edge this out. Okay, well that's now off, which is good. It's only 4 clips. So we need to find now, before I decide which side I'm going to go for, we need to find the fuse box. So I did do a little bit of off-camera stuff because I've got to be honest, I didn't know where it was. Lo and behold, it is under here. Now I never would have thought it would be under here because you would think normal place to put it would be the little pillar on the dash on the right. So we are going to use these, which is absolutely perfect because the system I am going to run, oh nice, it does basically it uses one of these for one of these slots for 2 things. So we are now going to find out which one we're going to use. Okay, so off camera I've done a little bit further forward because I was in a bit of a dilemma whether to run the power cable, because I was thinking with this actually needs to be at the front. No, it doesn't. It can be at the back, but I thought if it's at the back it's not going to be long enough to run it down the side, up and across. There is a fuse box at the front left which you can get to, but it's trying to feed this through the grommets and stuff, and it's going to be too difficult to put that through, so I'm just trying to find an easier way of doing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this cable here that runs up here, that I believe, and into the headlining. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to meet that with this one. So this is the cable for the rear camera, and these two are going to run together through the headlining and it's going to drop down from the front of the headline into the dash cam. So it's all going to be underneath here, rather than trying to figure out how to get it from the front underneath the dash. I can literally just run it up through here, and if I run it through the centre, I don't have to worry about the left A-pillar or the right A-pillar with regards to the airbags or anything like that, like I did with my i30N. I had to run it behind it. With this, I've got no worries whatsoever, because it's just going to be running over the headlining. So as long as I cable tie them together, run them up through here, straight down the front, down, and then I should have still enough of this to be able to play with. So I think that's the way I'm going to go forward, and we're going to use this fuse box, which is handy being here actually, because yeah, it just makes things a lot more easier. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So to access the wiring loom, the first thing we need to remove is the boot trim cover on the right side. This is held down by one cargo bolt. Once that's out of the way, we then need to disconnect the 12-volt plug and disconnect the light. Once this is out of the way, you'll then need to pull back the boot seal so then you can access the trim above the speaker. This is only held in by clips. Once this is out of the way, you can then access the 4 8mm screws that are holding in the speaker trim. So the best way to feed the wire through the rubber grommet is by feeding a wire through it first, taping the cable to it and then pulling it all the way through. So guys, the plan is, I've just pulled this out. So this is held in, if you want to remove one, these two catches here are a bit of a pain. You have to get in there with your trusty trim puller like this, and you've got to wedge it up here, and you've got to pry it down, and then it'll pop out. Same sort of thing with this one. This is held in by these two front catches at the front. I say front two, mine's fallen off, and you can probably hear it in there, so I'm gonna have to get that out at some point. So I'm gonna try and be really cheeky here. I'm going to get something like tape measure with some rope attached to it, and I'm going to feed it down here, bypass this all the way to the very bottom there, and I'm going to grab it, pull it through, attach them two cables and drag them all the way through here. That is the plan. If it works, great. If not, back to the drawing board. Alright, here we go, let's try it, shall we? That's got to be enough. Right, so now I've done that, rope or string and tape. Okay, so after a lot of jiggery pokery, I did manage to squeeze it through. The reason why it kept stopping is because there must be a bit of foam. That's one, I've got to admit, the build quality of these are absolutely fantastic. So yeah, so what's happened is there must be some foam that's running along the channel halfway through. So what I've managed to do, thanks to my beautiful little helper, is I've been at the front kind of pulling it down, and she's been feeding it through, and we managed to do it because I didn't want to go on the outside like I was going to do a second ago, because you've got the curtain airbags and I didn't want to get anywhere near them. So literally I'm running straight through the middle of the headlining, and that's what I wanted to do originally. So what we're going to do now, I'm praying that this actually works, I'm going to tape both of these leads, the ends, to this, in hope, if I can find the end of this one, oh, I got that one, that it will go up there and it won't cause any issues whatsoever. Right, so there's the end of that one, which is this one here. Ah, there we go. So yeah, these two ends now I'm going to tape up to the end of this. So yeah, fingers crossed and everything that it'll actually work. Oh yes! Here we are guys, they're through. So it got stuck about here, and the beautiful thing is it is running all the way down, all the way across here, so it's no way near the curtain airbags, because that's what I did not want. And what we're going to do, so I've got a load of excess here, so I'm going to run it just to the left side of this. It's going to come out, if you can see there's a gap. Get my finger, you can just see my finger poking out, and it's going to come across to down there, and then it's going to poke down here. So that is the plan. So all I've got to do, like I say, is feed this. Oh, trying to do this with one hand is not easy. Across there like that. This is going to go over here, like so, and then I can scoop it out just there. There we go, just like that. So that might just be enough for what I need, but I'll give it a bit more. I can always tuck it back. Okay, so now we can start cleaning up, really. So this is the rear camera, and the double-sided sticky bit here, which you can either screw it in. I'm not gonna, I really don't want to use that. I'd rather just stick it on because it's gonna leave 2 screw holes. Okay. And I can adjust that as and when. Just get a bit of an idea. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so now we've got the last bit, which is fitting the actual dash cam itself. Do a little bit more slack on these wires. Just a little bit. There we go. That's perfect. Okay, now just this bit. Like I say, to get it out, it's these clips, and they're quite tight, so if you are going to remove, just bear that in mind. Plastic trim pullers, not screwdrivers, guys. There we go. Because if you heard that, you'll see how heavy duty it is getting it in, and then you've got this plastic shield to go in as well. Right, moment of truth now is wiring it up in the rear end. So, fingers crossed. Now the one I'm thinking of to use is this one here, which, if I'm not mistaken from looking at this, it's the radio. Because it only gives you, this is the weird thing, it only gives you pictures. So, the only one I can think of where it says media, which is 29, which, yeah, it's this one here. So that's the one, and it's a 5, whereas this is a 5. So yeah, let's use that. That's the ground there. Hook this up like so. Fingers crossed now, guys. Let's see what happens. Ignition on. Ready. Oh yes, you beauty. So I've just done some tweaking, got all the date, time and resolution done. It can attach itself to Wi-Fi, which is a different one. I've knocked the resolution down to 1080p, which makes it last longer on timing. That's one you can do with this one. It took me a while to try and find out the format and being able to change the time and date and all that sort of stuff. There we have it. Sorry, you might not be able to see it so well because of the light, unfortunately. But yeah, all the time and dates all set up. It's all done on the on the radio. So turn that off. Open the car, shut the car, lock. That should turn off. So problem averted. I had to change it over to that one just there, which is 143. Now 143 is actually the Windows. I chopped and changed it between 5, 6 different ones, and none of them worked. So obviously, as soon as I hit the ignition, I want it to fire up. As soon as I turn the engine off, I want it to shut off. So yeah, the only one that it seemed to work with was Windows. So there we go, guys. The dash cam is fully installed, and as you saw, it wasn't too difficult to actually fit. For me, it was just obviously trying to find the fuse box, so I'm used to cars that are usually on the right or the left side of the dashboard, but with the BMWs, as you saw, they are in the boot. But it isn't too much of a problem because it's more easier to relocate them wires, because I brought mine over the actual headlining, but you could bring yours along the side here, but I would recommend not to bring it across here because it will come in conflict with the curtain airbags. Now this video was more of a how-to video, but then saying that, it is a modification one as well, because a dash cam is a modification and is an absolute must these days, because unfortunately you do get them people like I'm getting at the moment that will come right up your rear end, and also worst case scenario, they'll get in front of you, brake test you, or do even more worse than that, do it so you come in conflict with them because they want to claim. Now there's two scenarios that could potentially happen if they do that. One, they could notice you've got a dash cam and shoot off as fast as they possibly can, but at least you've got their car and potentially some footage of them. The worst case of them two scenarios is they'll see you've got a dash cam and then they'll try and take it from you. So if that happens, if your windows are down, put them up, lock the car straight away and contact the police. Now that is going to bring us to the end of the video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please put some comments down below of what you thought of the video and other modifications you think I should do as well. I have got some other modifications into the garage, so don't worry, more videos will be coming very soon. Please hit like, please hit subscribe to keep up more future content, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Stay safe. Ta-da.